Well, good morning, everybody. God's blessings to all of you. Good morning. Good morning. God bless you. Good morning. And I thank God for his many, many blessings. Good morning. As you can tell, I am home. I am home. Tamara and I are back. We have arrived back from Ghana, Africa, the motherland. We come back with a great deal of excitement, and I'm just so thankful to God that He carried us there and He brought us back home safely. It is good to be back home. We're a little tired. We are a little tired because we left on yesterday. Ghana's time is 4 hours ahead of us. So we had to get up yesterday uh, at really 1:15 Atlanta time, catch a flight from Ghana to New York, and then from New York home. So we got back home last night about 10 or about really after 10 on last night. But we are thankful to God that we are back from the motherland. And it really is the motherland if you are a person of I should say, a black person, wherever you are in this world. If you're in the islands, if you're in Europe, if you're in America, Africa is your home. That's where your ancestors came from, and it was a good experience. I will tell you more about that at a later time. Of course, I will talk this morning about some things that I gathered from my experience and things that I think that we need to do as the church and as people. But I am glad to be home. And I want to tell you though I was there, that was a real spiritual connection. I felt like I was home, so to speak. That was a real spiritual, I could not explain it, connection. Although the conditions were not like what I am accustomed to here in the United States, we stayed at a nice hotel, but the surroundings, I saw poverty. I saw some poverty like I've never seen. Um, and it felt like I had a connection. I'll probably be able to gather my thoughts and really explain it better um, in the next week or so, next few days. But however, I do want to talk to you, Grace. I want you to know that I missed you, and I thank God for you. We were able to watch some of the service on the plane from yesterday, and good service. And we thank God for the things that the Lord is doing at the Grace Church. Would you go on and share this? I'm going to get started. Would you go on and share this if you're on Facebook, if you are on YouTube, whatever platform you're using? And I want to thank God for those who are on our prayer call line. So y'all just put up with me this morning. I'm a little tired. I have jet lag. I'm gonna tell you, I have it. I feel jet lag. I felt very tired when we got home last night because that was an 11-hour flight from Ghana to New York, and then to go back through customs in New York, and then recheck the bags, get to the gate and fly from New York to Atlanta. It was a lot, but it was worth it all. It was worth it all. And I thank God for the experience. Amen. Well, we're going to talk this morning because I have something on my heart that I want to share with my Grace family and friends. So would you listen to me real good on today? I don't think that this is a motivational lesson that I'll share with you this morning as much as it is a call to action or a challenge. I think that's more of what I'm going to try to accomplish on today. And I hope that all of you would listen to me. And I gained this as I was in Ghana and looking at the conditions. Now, there are great conditions, and it's like America to some degree, the United States, in that there are some really good conditions, and then there are some bad conditions, but the bad conditions are like I've never seen before. At the same time, I saw people who seem to have very little hope because of the system. You know, there are certain systems that are set up that if you're impoverished, it's almost hard to come out of that impoverished situation. But I saw people who did not have, I would say, I'm not going to even say a tenth. I'm going to say not even 1%, 1 or 2% of what I have. Yet they had joy. They had a work ethic. It was a lot of hustling because people are trying to sell you stuff and, you know, trying to do this. This is how they live. They had a work ethic. They were not lazy. They were not just sitting around because conditions were not favorable. They worked. They didn't live in the houses that we live in. Some of the houses, some of the homes that we saw were literally worse than what I used to see when I was a boy growing up in Mississippi. And I saw some pretty dilapidated homes as a boy. Yet they had a joy and a happiness and a kindness. They were kind people. They were hospitable. They smiled. There was something on the inside that is quite different from a lot of what you know, we have experienced here in America. So I just want to talk a little bit this morning. I don't know how well this is going to go because you know, because I got a lot on my mind. Okay, so y'all bear with me. I wrote something on the plane, and I was writing it for my book. I have a chapter in my book entitled "Be Happy," and I wrote this on the plane. I'm gonna read it to you. As I commence this chapter, I'm seated on a plane in New York City along with my spouse, preparing to return to Atlanta. We have just returned from Accra, Ghana, where we experienced an unparalleled sensation. Throughout our travels around the globe, staying in five-star hotels with butlers and every conceivable amenity, none compared to the profound encounters we had in Ghana on that spectacular continent of Africa. This remarkable experience was not solely due to the hotel that we stayed in, although it was excellent. We've experienced better accommodations. It was not due to our extravagant meals, as we have experienced exceptional quality. Rather, this sensation was created by our interactions with some of the most delightful individuals. We witnessed their smiles and observed them dancing and singing with sheer delight. Intriguingly, their joy was not derived from opulent lifestyles. In fact, we witnessed extreme poverty, unlike any we had seen before. Despite having no apparent means of escaping their impoverished conditions, their positive attitudes were remarkably evident. This led me to reflect on the concept. Listen, here's what I wrote. This led me to reflect on the concept that happiness might indeed be a state of mind rather than a state of being. Though one's circumstances may fall short of their aspirations, if their mindset is positive, it will manifest in their expressions and actions. This is particularly noteworthy as I have also been in the company of individuals who possess every conceivable luxury, yet remain profoundly discontented. Despite their comfortable living conditions, their focus on perceived issues distract from their overall well-being. Based on my recent observations, those issues are insignificant in comparison. Let me read just a little bit more and then I'll get to my lesson. Happiness is fundamentally a state of mind. It is crucial to understand that relying on achieving specific goals as the primary source of happiness can be problematic. Often, we may not achieve our desired outcomes, or reaching these goals may take an extended period. When the journey is prolonged and happiness is dependent upon reaching the destination, it can adversely affect one's disposition. Listen, true happiness, however, is derived from internal experiences rather than external circumstances. Now, that's something that I wrote on the plane. That's the beginning of a chapter in one of the chapters in my book dealing with being happy, just being happy. That's what I saw. Conditions were not favorable, but there was a happiness. Now, why am I dealing with this? And again, bear with me, guys. I have so many thoughts until I've not had the opportunity to totally process everything that I have experienced. So you have to bear with me. So why am I dealing with this? I'm dealing with it because I want to tell us, Black people in America, The black church, hear me well, we got to step up to the plate. We must step up to the plate. The people I saw do not have nearly what we have. So if our people around the world, and it is unfortunate that black people around the world in many instances are either struggling or fighting for rights. Why is this so? We discussed this because we toured one of the castles with the slave dungeon. Have you heard of the door of no return? That's that door when they marched the slaves in chains down through this small, narrow space, and they go out of that door into the little boats to carry them to the ship. That's the last time they saw African soil. They were brought to the Americas, to the islands, to Brazil, and many other places to work as slaves. Why is it that even now that people in Africa, other parts, you look at Haiti, you look at, I have a whole lot of reasons that I can share at a later time. However, there has always been a strategic attempt on the part of Europeans to keep us from getting any foothold or any leverage. Now, in many instances, we allowed it, or we can be so kind. Here's one of the things that one of the tour guides told us is that the Africans were so trusting, because you can say what you want about us. We can be some of the most trusting people of other folk, and the most forgiving people. I'm not sure we don't forgive too much. Or I'm not sure we don't understand what forgiveness really is. I think sometimes, we can forgive, but we don't forgive each other. A lot of times we won't forgive each other. We won't trust each other, but we'll trust a white man or a Chinese. When we were there, we saw quite a few people, quite a few Asians in Ghana. Why were they there? Doing business and really taking advantage of the resource. I could go into all of that. Let me not go into all of that right now. I will share my experiences later. I will share them because I think it is very important. I want to say to you today, Black people in America, we've got to step up to the plate. Many people pray and believe God to do it. I am convinced that if we as a people are going to ever get what we deserve, it ain't going to be God that does it per se or by himself. Because we use God as a cop-out or an excuse. That's right, Yaz Anderson Petaway. They are taking over Africa. The Asians now are taking over Africa and the resources because it is rich in resources. Now, in some instances, bad leadership. Leadership is everything. And you do have sometimes leaders, and probably quite often leaders in Africa, who have almost sold out their people to some degree. That's for another day as well. But as Black people in America, they need us. They look to us. Now, here's what I can give us credit for, Black people in America. And I asked the tour guide, y'all know me. Do y'all know me? Do you really know? Do you know I'm going to say what I want to say and ask what I want to ask? Because I could not reconcile. How could Africans allow Europeans to take your country when there were, I know they had superior weapons. How did we allow that? Bless you, Kurtz. Okay, great. Brother Griffin is there in Ghana now. You told me you were going to be there. Wish I could have seen you. How did they allow? That's another story too. But one thing I can give Black people in America credit for, thank God for our fathers and people like Dr. King and Medgar Evers and Malcolm X and Andrew Young and so many others, Fannie Lou Hamer and Shirley Chisholm and so many others. We fought for our rights here to get to where we are. Now, we are not where we should be, but where we are is because we fought. The problem is maybe we've gotten too comfortable. We're still too trusting. It amazes me that we'll still trust a people who have done us any kind of way and can't trust each other. That bothers me. We can't work with each other, but yet people could have brought us in slavery. People could have lynched us, raped. The guy talked about how many women were raped. And these women were married to their husband in Africa, captured, put in the slave dungeons, and just raped before they were put on the ship. All kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. Yet we still trust them. And don't trust I may get in trouble for saying some of this, but I don't care. Trust people who have done us all kinds of ways. We've got to step up to the plate. We're waiting on God to do what we're supposed to do. Faith without works is dead. I've got a lot of stories I will tell you in days to come that need to be shared. The things that were done to our people and the things that are still being done, the systemic attempts to destroy every time it looked like we're about to get somewhere. And a lot of it is right here from this country. So a lot of it is right from the UK and other areas. Faith without works is dead. I'm going to say a couple other things and I'm going to leave it alone. This is not the time for a weak Black church. I want all you church folk to hear me, because many of you have given the Black church is one of the only institutions that has been used for change, upward mobility, liberation of our people. And if you are not in a church that speaks to your need for liberation, you need to get in another one. I'm not saying we don't preach Jesus, but how can you preach Jesus and not preach what he believed? The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor, to set at liberty the captives, and on and on and on. And if you are a part, I'm going to be honest with you. Now, y'all really going to get mad when I say this. This is why I cringe when I see tons of black folk sitting in congregations where their leader is white. I said it. I'm going to say it. Talking about we are in a multicultural church. No, you ain't. That ain't no multicultural church. What does the leadership look like? Now, I'm not saying all, because I have preached for some, and I know some who are white, yet they will speak to the issues of the people they serve. If your pastor can only preach salvation concerning heaven, but can't preach liberation concerning here, you got the wrong pastor. Black or white. Black or white. This is not the time. Yeah, now I said it. Now, and I'm not, when I say things, I'm not saying all. I'm not saying all. But I see people sit under leadership, spiritual leadership, that will not speak to their oppression or their disenfranchisement. I'm about to wake up now. Or the marginalization of their people, where we just preach heaven and we just preach Jesus. No. I preach Jesus because I preach what he preached. I'm doing what he did. He set captives free. He fed people. Some of you are sitting in churches where your leader is supporting a president who's cutting funding to schools and other politicians who don't believe their kids need to get a decent free lunch in school. Yet, I'm a Christian. Jesus never would have supported that when he said, I've come to set at liberty the captives and feed the poor. All right. This is not the time. Some of you won't have come to church. Some of my members at Grace, if pastor ain't there, I ain't going. Some of you listening to me right now, if pastor ain't at church, you ain't at church. And even when pastor is at church, you don't support it like you should. That's the only real institution. Name me another one. Name me another one if you don't believe me. Name me another one. Name me one. You can't. This is the institution. And this is all we have. And we must support her. We must. This is not the time for a weak black church. We've got to step up to the plate. This is not a time for a lackadaisical church. This is the time for the church to be alert, to be informed. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brothers and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor is not in vain. Despite all I've seen, I still have hope. I still have hope. I have hope in God. I have hope in the church that we will do what we're supposed to do. I still have hope. Thank you for listening to me today. And I'm so delighted again to be back home. I could talk more about it, but my time is up. And if anything I need to, anything motivational I need to share with you, let's step up to the plate. Let's do what we need to do as a people. Let's not give up the fight. Let's keep going. And when we do, as the old folks say, when we make one step, God will make two. That statement requires actions on our part. Amen. Now, Grace, I look to see you tomorrow night for Bible class. I'll be teaching Bible class tomorrow. I'm so glad to be back. I've been away from church 2 Sundays in a row. I was preaching in Macon, Georgia, Sunday before last. I was in Ghana, Africa, traveling back this past Sunday. I want to thank Pastor Charles, Philip, and Pastor Carter for blessing the Lord's church on yesterday. I want to thank all of you for what you do. But I'm looking forward to seeing each of you on this coming Sunday. I want to see you. Not only do I want to see you, I want you to bring someone with you. It's time to level up. I want to see every member of Grace spread the word, guys, either at 8 o'clock or at 11 o'clock. I want to see you. I've got things I want to share with you. I want to talk to you. I want to see you. And I look forward to seeing you. I love you. I thank God for you. And I want you to be blessed. Okay? God's blessings to you. You have a good day. And we'll be together for Bible class on tomorrow. On tomorrow night. My days are messed up. Today is Monday. On tomorrow night. All right. God bless you. Bye-bye.